Congressman Tom Cole, 4th District of Oklahoma, and this is another one of our weekly congressional chats. Congress this week has actually been consumed by the thing you're hearing about on the news, which is the discussion over raising the debt ceiling and at the same time controlling spending a little bit better than we've done in Congress in the last several years. Looking ahead, it looks to me like we'll probably have a debt ceiling vote sometime early next week. Again, I think if the two sides come to an agreement, and that'll mean that we actually get the debt ceiling lifted and the spending under control. That's a good thing. Congress also did other things this week. Probably the most important was a fentanyl bill where we classified various elements of the ingredients that go into fentanyl as Schedule I drugs. This was a bipartisan vote. It'll strengthen our ability to control fentanyl as it comes across the border, hopefully reduce the input into the country. Very proud to work with our Democratic colleagues on that. This is something that's not a partisan issue. Passed easily. The president's already said he's going to sign it, so if we can get the Senate to move, we'll move along on that. The other thing that happened this week was a postponement temporarily of appropriations bills. The appropriations process is well underway. A number of our subcommittees have already met on various aspects of the various bills that have to be passed, the agriculture, homeland security, a couple of the other committees as well. These are just normal processes votes. So Congress is working on the appropriations process and again wrestling with the debt ceiling limit. On the debt ceiling, I would tell you, we're dug in pretty deep on the Republican side. That is, we intend to raise the debt ceiling, but we intend to do some things to control spending as well. And when we finally see the final agreement, it should probably come sometime this weekend or early next week, we'll move from there. But process is working as it should. Things are going well, and I look forward to talking to you in a lot more detail next week, because by that point we should have raised the debt ceiling. The United States is not going to default on its debts and obligations, but we are going to impose some fiscal discipline on Congress, whether our Democratic colleagues want to or not. Last point I would make is this. We're in this situation because the president was very slow to recognize that to raise the debt ceiling, he was going to have to negotiate with Republicans in Congress. I'm very proud that Speaker McCarthy drew that red line. He's forced the negotiation. The Republicans have already put on paper what they believe we ought to do. We passed that bill through the Congress. The only people that voted to raise the debt ceiling so far are Republicans. All but 4 voted to raise the debt ceiling if we were willing to actually deal with the debt. Unfortunately, the Democrats have done 0 on this. The president hasn't given us any proposals to actually deal with this, and the Democratic Senate has yet to produce a bill. So right now, the only people who have voted to raise the debt ceiling are the Republicans in the House. And that puts us in a pretty strong negotiating position. We'll see what happens in the next few days. With that, that's all I've got to report. So good luck, God bless, and look forward to visiting with you next week.